Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Chris with the C. Hope you're all doing well. Thank you very much for joining me today, guys. Today I've bought myself a new handset. When I say I want to say a massive thank you to my wife and daughter for picking this up for should we say Father's Day, birthday, Christmas. Now, as you know, I've been a big fan of the GT5 handset. Really enjoyed using it recently. I've got a bunch of my cars on there, as you can see, all set up on the handset. Now, there was a couple of features that I thought that I would like to try out. I've done my research, I've gone through a bunch of different handsets, and I've ended up with a Radiolink RC8X. Now, as I say, it was a present for me, all right? So, now, here in the UK, you are looking at around about £299 to actually purchase the handset. Now, I understand it's obviously not cheap, but this handset is packed full of features. And I think if you're looking for something kind of a step up, so e.g. from, I've got my DX3 there, my GT5. If you want something a little bit of a step up with a few more features, this is going to be an absolutely awesome handset. Now, firstly, I want to say a massive thank you to Jason Perrin for putting me onto this handset. I've watched a bunch of his videos on the handset and a few bits and bobs, and I've got to say I'm really impressed with this. Now, caveat to this, all right, yes, it is an unboxing as per se, with a difference. Now, I have actually been into that handset. I've had a look around. I'm also going to show you in this video, that's why I got a laptop there, how to update the firmware on the handset, all right? I did notice one little issue, and I'm going to bring you to that in a moment. But first of all, as you can see, the handset does come in this really nice kind of holdall. Really nice that Radiolink have included this as part of the handset, because I know there's a lot of other handsets out there that doesn't come with this sort of packaging. Now, what I'm going to do is just open it up for you. I hope the camera angle at home is all right, guys. I am trying to give you a better view of what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. As you can see, now, the instructions and everything were packed here. I have got them on this side, and I've also got, let's just open it up and I'll show you quickly. All right, so the idea of this is, what I liked about this was you've got essentially the handset and a space there to put a few bunch of bobs, bits and bobs, batteries, maybe a screwdriver, that sort of thing in there. You can keep that in there. The handset's still safe. It does come with this lanyard, as you can see, Radiolink lanyard to go on your handset. I've got a few different lanyards I want to try out on there, but yeah, really nice quality. Absolutely awesome. It's included. It does come with a strap for the case, as you can see here. Now, your instructions, guys, are quite comprehensive. Now, I will recommend, if you don't want to watch videos like this, to go through and have a look at some of the instructions. There's a few things in here to, obviously, they point out. Now, one thing I did pick up on is here, never charge the RC8X with a USB port. And I'll go into that in a second. But everything you're going to need to know, you know, what it supports, as you can see, 200 model memory. I wanted to put all my cars onto one handset and basically have a good time with it. Something that was a bit more customizable, something that was easy to use. Now, this will support their new protocol, I believe, and it basically it's pulling it in line with some of the high-end race radios like Vitabas and stuff like that out there. Will give you 3 milliseconds latency. Now, for the average basher or something like that, you're not really going to need that unless you've got a digital servo you want to kind of utilize. But I'll go through that in a moment. You've got a box here with all your accessories, and I'll go into that in a second, and you're greeted with a handset. All right, so we'll get the handset out a sec. And we'll also, if you look into the packaging here, guys, you also got 2 receivers in there as well. It's nice that they've obviously cut it all out. This will keep your handset clean, tidy, away from harm. And yeah, it's a good idea that you keep hold of this and obviously keep your handset in it. Right, okay, in the packaging, you've also got the R8FG receiver, 8-channel receiver with a gyro, and it also supports the, now it's quite important this, if you're wanting to use a low latency, it does need to be version 2.1. So if you go looking for a new receiver, it will need to be version 2.1, all right? If it's underneath that, it's not going to support the low latency. But there you go. Let's just zoom in. I think it's easier. There you go, as you can see. Now, it is fairly big, this. If you look at the size of it, you are going to need to, for things like maybe my EXB or something with a larger receiver box, you should be absolutely fine. But if you're going to be trying to put this on, let's say, a small 1/10 scale, it's going to be a little bit big, guys. You have got these two elongated antennas here. So the range, guys, is up to 600 meters. And if you kind of put that in perspective, that's really, really long. Now, also comes with this tiny, now look how tiny, I'm going to give you a comparison here. The R4 FGM, it is, when I say tiny, absolutely tiny. Stuff like smaller receiver boxes or 1/10 touring cars, buggies, that sort of thing, your crawlers, your micro crawlers, that sort of thing will be absolutely fine with something like this. No issues at all. But yeah, very, very small receiver. And it's nice that it comes with both of those. Both of them are gyro. I have actually purchased as well some of the previous generation receivers, because this does support previous generation receivers, e.g. from like the RC6GS, I think it is. The handset, guys, is very, very well made. Now, as I say, I have actually turned this on and used it, the battery and everything. The ergonomics on the handset is very, very nice. It sits in my hand, lovely. My thumb tucks up underneath here. And obviously you've got your steering wheel. You've also got your, now all these buttons around here are programmable. You've got, this is a button and also a jog wheel as well. This is programmable. There's a button there as well. You have got it mirrored, as you can see down the side here. What is on one side is definitely on the other. The reason behind which is if you're a right-handed guy, you can use it right-handed. If you're a lefty, you can actually swap this over to this side and use it that way, which I thought was pretty neat. Does have a micro SD card slot here as well, and I'll go into that in a moment because that's quite important. I will need to show you that. Now the other thing is, guys, you can actually use your FPV cameras with the handset as well. It's not something I think I'm going to use myself, but what will happen is the bottom half of the screen here will actually show you what's happening on your camera. So many of the crawler guys or, you know, tanks or stuff like that, you can actually run your screen on the handset. Now, turning the handset on, if you hold, this is the power button here. As you can hear, it does have full voice activation on the handset. There's a few things to show you here. So obviously you've got your 8 channels running down through the handset. Let's just kind of zoom in a bit better. There you go, that's better. 1 to 8 channels there. As you can see, you do have a timer. You've got your telemetry for your RX, external, RSSI. It'll also show you what keys are programmed to what. And then going into the handset itself, you press the button down there. Now, if you wanted to, you can scroll up and down to get through the menus. Or you've got the quick keys on the left-hand side here. All right, so for example, I want to change a theme here. Now, big shout out to Jason Perry once again, because he set a theme up on his handset, guys, and I absolutely adore it. So as you can see, setting the themes quite easy. We've got a blue, an orange already preset, green, purple, and a black. Black's pretty cool. I quite kind of dig that one. as you can see, quite nice. But let's go to theme settings. Oh no, that's backlight. Theme settings is here. If you notice here, what I've actually set up is a custom theme. So I'm just going to click that over, and I thought that actually goes really well with the handset. Look, really, really nice. Okay, so menu and stuff. I think what I'll do before we go into the menus is I'm going to set the camera up and I'll show you how to update this. Now, the reason I'm going to do this is the handset came with the version 1.0.1. It's actually run now 1.0.25, I believe, and I can show you that, and it's here. So if you go to information, the handset is 1.2.5. Hardware version is 1.0.1. So I've actually updated this handset in advance. I wanted to do it before I actually use the handset. Right, pause the video 2 seconds, and then I'll show you how to actually do this, guys. Right, okay guys, so to update your firmware, you are going to need to go onto the Radiolink website, and I'll show you how. I've actually got the page ready to rock and roll. Typed in Radiolink into the search bar, RC8X, and then if you go to the official website here, all right, now it will come up in Chinese initially, so obviously make sure you select English. If you go to radios and then scroll down, as you can see in this option here, RC8X. Now, to update the firmware, the website, mind, I will say, does need a little bit of work. It's kind of a bit glitchy. If you go to firmware, okay, it'll actually give you full instructions here on how to update it. Now, you've got 2 ways of doing it. You can either do it with a USB Type-C cable, or if your laptop actually has, and I'll show you, a memory card slot, all right, make sure you've got an adapter. I actually used the memory card myself. I thought it was a lot easier. And you click on, if you scroll down to, so it'll go through on how to do it here. I will show you in a second. There's a few really good videos already up on this. If you go here, and you're going to want the complete upgrade package, all right? Now, you click on that to download. I've already done this, so I'm just going to show you in my files. As you can see, you've got it here. So if you click on it, guys, it's actually containing everything you need for the handset. Now, you will need to unzip this by right-clicking and then go to Extract All. Set a path where you want it to go. For example, I'm going to go to my desktop. I've actually set up a folder here. And as you can see, I've actually downloaded it already. So what you do then, guys, all right, so once you're downloading it, it's all unzipped. It'll come up in a little folder on your desktop. There you go. And that's the firmware you want. Now, okay, with the handset, just moving it back a second, what you're going to need to do is just open up this micro SD card slot here. Like, so it's a little bit awkward for me actually because I haven't got any nails. Let's get the micro SD card slot open, shall we? There you go. There you go. So there's your micro SD card. Pop that into your card slot. All right, you want to make sure this right is off and then pop that into the laptop. Let's just move the camera back to the laptop a second. As you can see, there you go, RC8X, and what it'll say is RC8X external. All you're going to want to do, guys, is there's my folder, is just literally drag and drop the firmware straight from one to the other, okay? So, for example, there's my folder. I'm going to select everything and just drag it in, okay? So, left click and drag in. And then it's going to copy and ask you to replace the files in the destination. So, yes, we're going to do that. I'll have to reset up my handset, but that's all right. I wanted to show you how this actually works. So there you go. That's all copied over now. We can close this down a second and then retrieve the memory card from the card slot on my laptop. There you go. So I'm now going to take it back out like so. Right, just to mention, guys, another thing. It does come with a 32 gigabyte memory card included. You can actually fit into the handset a 64 gigabyte memory card, by the way, okay? It won't go any further than 64 gigabytes. Right, make sure, obviously, you're putting your memory card into the correct slot, e.g., so it goes with that part up top, like so, into the memory card slot. Make sure you put your piece of rubber back down. Now, to update your firmware, it's quite important, this one. What we're doing here, guys, you've got DT1 and DT2. You're going to hold those, so press one back, one forward, and then press the power on button. And this will take you into the firmware update software, as you can see. All right. Now, to actually scroll through this menu, you use this button here. All right, as you can see, it will actually select it. Update to latest, like so. Pressing this button. As you can see, now there's the file that we've downloaded, version 1.2.5 bin. Do you want to complete, do you want to confirm the upgrade? Click yes. So as you can see now, it's updated successfully. All right. To get back, you press this button inwards, and then we want to go to power off. All right, so then use this button to select and confirm. Right, so the handset's now powered off. Now, just any customized settings, guys, when you're updating, by the way, you will need to reset a lot of it. You can back up all your settings if you wanted to via the option on the handset that I've just done now. Hold the power button in. Oh, there you go. So it's actually kept my settings, guys. This is really, really good. As you can see, everything is now working. Now, I did have one slight issue on upgrading for the first time. I just want to kind of show you. Now, if you go to, the two cars, all right, this is where your model memory and everything is. This is where you set up each individual car or truck or crawler or whatever it may be. This is how you would select it. Now, I had a bug. Let's just go back to the main screen. So obviously when I turned the handset on for the first time, I was playing around with the steering wheel. Now, as you can see, it's nice and responsive here, no problems at all, yeah? What I was finding, it was creeping. So I would turn the handset completely to the right, and I was getting it was going really, really slowly up like so. All right, so what I had to do was go in, select the model, like so, and actually delete that model and then set up a new one. Since I've done that, there's been no issues at all. All right, so that is actually how you update your RC8X. Very, very simple and easy to do. Like I say, download the firmware from Radiolink. You'll come down with a zip file, zip it into a folder on your desktop, copy the contents of that onto your memory card, DT1, DT2, into the menu, update to latest, and click confirm, and then obviously your handset will update. Right, now, just bouncing on to the actual handset itself, as you can see, loads and loads of options on the screen, easy to use. You've got your battery voltage up the top, this little indicator by here. I haven't got a receiver plugged in a second, but this will give you your signal strength. As I mentioned, signal on this is up to 600 meters. All right, you've got every single channel that you've got on your handset. Now, what do I mean by channels, guys? E.g., this is actually channel 1 to turn, 2 to burn. All right. Now, as you can see, I have set this up. This is another customizable feature that I've done. So I've got a timer set on there on the trigger. Watch. If I press the trigger, 1, 2, 3, let's go. For me to stop it, I can press this button here, and then press it again and it'll reset it. So I did like that. That was really nice. And it was something I was actually looking for, was a timer feature. I had a few people on the channel actually comment and mention that they would like to see a little predefined route around my local Bashbot car park and actually be able to time it. And they've got a visual representation of which car's fastest, what upgrades are working, and so on and so forth. So that feature was a welcome feature. Let's just go into the handset itself. Okay, language, theme setting, backlight. So obviously you can play around with your backlight via the switch, decrease and everything else. PS3. So if you look, I can turn the backlight on and off, and that is the PS3 button. Okay. Now, what do I mean by PS3? Each button, as you can see, has got a little bit of engraving in it, letting you know what it does and how it does it. There is another switch, PS1. You've got PS5, PS2, I believe, PS3/DL1. Now, DL1 I've actually got it configured as well for my gyro. As you can see, you can actually turn the gyro up. So it's a multi-function button right there, guys. Okay, channel reverse, channel delay. You can set your endpoints, sub-trims, channel settings. So you can actually pick what each channel does as well. So I do like that. Channel limiter. So if you wanted to, you could hand the handset over to, like, let's say youngster or something. You can limit the amount of throttle that they've got or whatever. Steering, whatever you. Honestly, guys, this is so configurable. It's unbelievable. Trim dial select. So obviously what each one does. Double ratio, fail safe. Fail safe is obviously for your nitro, guys. Receiver settings. Now, important one, this. Very important, actually. There is a vast range, and this is one of the reasons why I've gone with this handset. There's a vast range of receivers you can actually use on this handset as well. And I really did kind of dig that, was the fact that obviously I don't have to use the latest and greatest. So if you look, FHSS version 1, if you click on it, guys, they're all the different receivers from the version 1 handsets you can actually use. So what I've actually gone ahead and done, I've ordered 4 of the R6 FGs. It's a 2.4 gigahertz receiver. It doesn't support the low latency, but I am a basher at the end of the day. I enjoy doing what I'm doing. If I decide to race, I'll then go on to the version 2. But I've actually ordered 4 of them for the grand total of £36. No, actually £40, I believe. Excuse me. If you're in the UK, it'll also give you your version 2. So if you notice, as I mentioned earlier, you got the R8 FG. That's kind of, they're all singing, all dancing. Version 2, this is version 2.1. And then you've also got your R4 FGM, which is obviously your small micro receiver. But again, there's a bunch of receivers, and it's nice that you can kind of tell which protocol does what. Now, when I said about the servo speed, right, as you can see here, you can actually set your latency from 14 milliseconds right the way down to 3 milliseconds. If you're someone like myself who uses an analog servo, this isn't really going to apply. But if you're a racer, you can actually play around with the settings here and get your latency right down to 3 milliseconds, which I think is actually quite standard amongst racers. You receive a signal. Obviously, it's not receiving anything there. You can have an alarm limit as well. Transmitter voltage. Now, what do I mean by transmitter voltage? Let's just quickly show you. It does come with, guys, a LiPo battery. Oh, yeah, it will just reset it. Let's turn the handset off a second, shall we? Radiolink off. Right, now, one of my bugbears with this as well was, it comes with a 1700 milliamp hour LiPo battery. Now, this piece of foam doesn't actually come with a handset, right? So your LiPo comes in there, it works off a JST connector. There's 2 things wrong here. It doesn't actually come with a JST to, let's say, Dean's or something for actually programming, for charging. Now, as you can see here, It's a 7.4 volt, 1700 milliamp hour battery. There is an upgrade for this, by the way, guys, and I'll explain at the end of it. In fact, I'll tell you now. If you go on to Google, there's actually a 2800 mAh battery that fits directly into the handset. So I have ordered one of them. I managed to get one for £5.40 in the UK, which is really, really cheap. But as you can see, JST connector. So be aware, you will need to order a JST to, let's say, something like Dean's for charging, because this handset does not support and will not support charging via the USB Type-C, which is behind. I can't do it again because my nails. But there's a USB Type-C there. Now, the other thing, guys, is if you look at the bottom on there, you will need to make sure that you get your connector right, because I'm not sure whether this has got reverse polarity protection. Now, okay, so there's your battery in there. I'm going to put the back on there. I'm just going to show you something. I was surprised by this because, as I say, this isn't a cheap handset, mind. Ready? I wasn't impressed with that in the slightest. I understand, obviously, they've given you a bigger battery compartment, obviously, for putting your light bows in. You can run this as well, guys, and I'll show you in the accessory pack in a moment, with 8 AAAs. And it will probably make it a little bit sturdier as well, you know, kind of feeling. But I like to run everything on light bows. It will support up to a 2 to 4 S light bow. But obviously, make sure that you've got a JST connector to connect it into the bottom. So all I've done is cut myself a little piece of foam, slide that across, and Radiolink, you really could have included that. I don't know why you didn't. Right, turn the handset back on. Welcome to Radiolink. Let's go back. So where were we? Receive a signal, transmit a voltage, telemetry, engine battery voltage, your steering curves, your throttle curves, brake curves, acceleration, steering delay, throttle delay, cruise control, idle up, throttle trigger setting, traction control, ABS, motor start, engine cut. Cruise control, it would be a perfect one for the guys who crawl. You've got racing menu here then. Oh, let's go to racing menu. Steering curves, throttle curves. Oh no, we've been through that one. Actually, mixer controlling. So you can mix channels here, guys. All right. Steering mixing, brake mixing, gyro mixing, 4-wheel steer. That's quite important for a lot of guys, I know. So you can actually set it up. You know, your channels. You know what does what. You can actually see the way each one is turning. If you click on mixing, for example, 4-wheel steer type. There you go. You've got different types of doing it. I'm going to turn that off because I don't use 4-wheel steer. Tilt mixing, programmable mixing. Screenshots. You can take screenshots with your handset with times and everything. Your timer setting. This is how I set it up for the buttons. So as you can see, when you press the throttle, all right, you can actually have it that it comes on desktop, and you can also click it via the desktop, e.g. On the front page. Your rollout chart, which I thought was really cool, that's actually on the handset as well. Your pinion, spur gear, diameter of wheels, e.g. And then it'll give you your rollout chart. And you've also got gear ratios. Guys, I honestly can't say that it's so feature rich, this handset. A lot of which I might not even use. You can calibrate it as well. Obviously set your endpoints. So let's just do that on camera. For example, steering, as you can see, turn it the other way so it knows not only you've got your endpoints on your steering on your car, you can actually tell the handset which is the furthest point left to right. Calibration finished. Let's go trigger, which is there, and that is now configured there. And your rotary knob, which is this one here, you can tell it how far it goes, 0 to 99, and then turn that back off. Very, very nice. You can do that because obviously, as you can see, let's reset that button.
Camera function pulse. Camera function reset.
There you go. it actually tells you, you know, there's loads of different features on here as well. Obviously, it will tell you when you're running ABS, traction control. All these features will pop up on the handset. Now, buttons-wise, as I say, you've got 4 DT buttons on there, so you can assign these for maybe, let's say if you're crawling, you could have a dig button, or I've actually got these set up for, let's have a look, steering, and then you've got your throttle trim. You've also got this button underneath, maybe, you know, locking the diffs. You could use that, as you can see. Press it again and send it back. It's so feature rich, honestly. Again, now in here you do have another trigger as well that you can, for someone with a longer finger that maybe you're not kind of getting the right grip on your handset. There you go, and that started back off again. I'm not particularly worried whether that starts, because you can just tick away in the background. It has got this kind of plasticky rubber. Now, it is metal, I know, but honestly, it's got such a really nice... Oh, the other thing, this is backlit as well. Let me turn the light off for you a second. As you can see, that is actually glowing. You can change the colour of this, so you can have it breathing. Tons and tons of features. I mean, obviously, if you're looking for something with all the bells and whistles, I do believe this is possibly the one for you guys. They initially had a few little issues out with the box. When I set this up with my handset, my receivers, I'm going to obviously report back to you guys. Jason, I've spoken to him a few times via Messenger. He has no issues running it on his bashers. As for racing, I can't really comment on that because I don't really do any racing. I do kind of race my friends, but I don't race as per se. But yeah, very, very feature rich, really, really nice. I'm going to put the handset away over there a second. I'll show you what else comes with the handset. Let's turn it off. Right, okay. So we've got this little box. In the box you get... There you go, guys. My camera decided to throw wobbly there. I don't know why. Okay. You could also got engine and battery receiver connector cable. All right, so obviously cable for your nitro guys. You also have your AA battery connector. So as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 in total. And you also get a screen protector, thicker. No, it does have a thin screen protector on there. I've left that on there for the moment. And then obviously you've got a thicker one to go on later, or you could add it whenever you want to, I suppose. And then you have got a longer trigger with some Allen keys as well. Tons and tons of features, a lot of which, for example, I might play around with the triggers, see what feels comfortable. But you can also, guys, adjust the tension on your trigger here. All right, so just using a 1.5mm screwdriver, you can actually get more or less trigger feel. I quite like how it's feeling right there. I might put a little bit more tension on it because I have got a habit of grabbing the throttle quite quickly. So I might add a little bit more tension on there. But yeah, really, really nice. Now, as I say, this isn't going to be for everyone, all right? I understand there's a lot of features on this handset that a lot of people are not going to use. But for me personally, I thought it was a great deal that obviously I've got all these features. Hello, as you can see, I'm in the background by here. I've got all these features all on one handset, and it was really kind of ergonomic, nice feeling to it as well. As I say, on the side here, you have got a earphone connector. You can also connect your FPV camera. And yeah, it's just tons and tons of stuff. A lot of it I won't use myself personally, because essentially I wanted a nice handset for bashing, but I'm really, really chuffed I've got hold of one of these. Right, let me know in the comments, guys, what you think about the handset. Do you think this is something for you? Do you think it's excessive? Is it not something you think you need? Because I have noticed, and I'm not going to lie to you here, when I was using this handset, for example, as opposed to, let's say, now this is one of the better ends of the RTR market. But I did notice, even with the FlySky GT5 that I was using, the feel of the drive, I felt more connected with my GT5 than what I did with my DX3. The DX3 is an absolutely cracking RTR handset. Obviously, things like AVC and everything. But I felt that obviously the GT5 felt nicer, easier to use. And for me, now moving on to something like this, is, you know, this is leagues above anything else that I've tried. Okay, let me know in the comments what you think. Was there any features you want me to show you? Is there anything you'd like to see? I hope you enjoyed the video. I've tried to change up the camera angle for you, so obviously you enjoyed the video a bit better. I want to say a massive thank you to each and everyone who's obviously watching the videos. All the likes, shares and subscribes that go on the channel is absolutely amazing. Make sure you check the box for more videos. Until next time, guys, you stay awesome. I'll catch you later, okay?